John, when you looked at top 3, 6-1 throughout the comeback there from the Yankees, is there one moment that sticks out to you particularly frustrating or a tipping point through all of that?
Yeah, I mean, thought we did a really good job against Carlos. Kind of just didn't really play our game, really, when you look at kind of things as a whole, or as a whole. Just defensively, you give them extra outs and things like that, and they can do that in a hurry, So it's not one thing, it's a couple things, and their bullpen did a really good job, and we just gave them extra outs.
Given how much your bullpen had to do today, do you have pitching plans for tomorrow?
Yeah. Probably let you know tomorrow. You're trying to, again, like I said before the game, you're trying to take chances to win today, and it didn't work out. Everyone's available tomorrow. Everyone's available, just not exactly sure who's going to start yet. Got to talk through that with Pete and the guys, but I think, it's everyone's available tomorrow.
We'll stay in that same spot, John.
John, defense has been a selling point or a strong point for you guys all season long. Does that make it more frustrating what happened tonight when you guys had the lead to kind of have it slip away like that? Yeah,
but it happens, it's baseball, it's, again, I've said it a million times, these guys will be ready to play tomorrow, it's, it happens, it gets magnified this time of year, sure, all that kind of stuff, but you got to take care of the ball, so is it frustrating? Yeah, it's frustrating today, but you gotta come to work tomorrow, get prepared, and physical errors happen, it's part of the game, but you got to move on and get ready for tomorrow.
One row behind, Shy.
John, that being said, when the momentum started to change towards the Yankees, was there, you were obviously trying different things to try and stop it there. Was there a sense for you that when it was starting rolling and maybe getting a bit uncontrollable on their end?
Say that again?
Was there a point where you sensed it was going to be really hard to stop the momentum they had built?
Oh, I mean, it's tough. It's tough as a whole to play here. I think we did a really good job of coming out and taking the lead. You're talking about giving a really good team extra outs, and you're talking about a really good player turning around 100, like 3 balls in, So you got to give credit for that, for one. But I think we just focus on, taking care of the ball. It's, again, it can turn on you in a hurry. You know what I mean? And I think you just got to kind of stop any kind of momentum. Walks and errors will kill you against this team. So I think that was kind of the tipping point a little bit.
Stay back there with Mitch and then Ron.
John, just with the success the Yankee hitters have had against the bullpen at the back of Game 2 there and then today, is there any common things you're seeing in kind of their approach against the bullpen or the success they're having there?
I mean, it's a good lineup. You know what I mean? You got to execute. And again, I think Judge's swing aside, I don't think we located secondary stuff the best, and it's just one of those days. I don't think that they're doing anything different than they've done all year. It's a really talented lineup. So you gotta really execute, and you gotta really sequence it the right way.
Against the wall on the right, Joel.
John, you mentioned a great player turning around 100. You're a couple of innings into this game. Are you thinking, are we going to be able to get out of here without Judge heavily impacting the series? And what do you think now that he has?
Yeah, man. You look at it like that. He's had a good postseason. He's had a good postseason. He's had a pretty good career. I think him and Vlad kind of are taking their game to a different level. You know what I mean? You can kind of look at those two guys as really rising to the occasion. He's someone you're always aware of. We're always aware of where he is. And I think they've done a good job of putting good players in front and behind him in the lineup too. So there's times where you just don't want him to swing. There's times where you say, okay, let's get after him, and I'll take 100, 101 with some nasty breaking stuff executed any day of the week. And it just didn't work out today. But hopefully, he gets a bad night's sleep and has some bad food tonight or something like that. But it's you give him credit, man. That was a ridiculous swing.
A couple more for Schneider. Ron on your left.
I was going to say, can you fault the pitch selection on that homer on virtually any other batter would have been tied up?
Yeah, I don't know, man. He puts the fastball by him, and you can go one of two ways. You can try to go up and in like you did. You can try to bury a breaking ball. It's, again, man, you give him credit. That's you got to make pitches. Sometimes you got to make really good pitches. You know what I mean? And again, it's not like you're waiting for that to happen, but you understand the talent that he does possess.
I mean, even though you wouldn't, did you run through the parameters of, okay, walk him here and
Kind of, I think about that a lot. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think that every situation is different. Score, who's on the mound, time of the game, all that kind of stuff. I trust my guys to make pitches. You know what I mean? And there's ways to get him out. Again, he's one of the best players, if not the best player in Major League Baseball. But I trust my guys to execute. And if there's a time where we can not pitch to him, sure. But just give him credit for that swing.
Two last ones for John. I think Mitch has a question in the back.
John, just wondering what you made of Shane today, and then what did you kind of see in that third inning when you made the decision to take him out?
Yeah, it's a tough decision, obviously. I thought he was throwing the ball fairly well. I thought his secondary stuff was really good in the second inning, and then just looked like he was having a little bit of trouble missing bats. And then you kind of get into pitches that inning and things like that. Again, you're trying to just do what you can, what you think is best to win the game right now. And I get how it looks with a bullpen game tomorrow and all that kind of stuff, but man, these guys are going to be ready to go. But I thought Shane was, we didn't help him, first inning, obviously. I thought Shane handled himself really well. It sucks for him. It wasn't a longer outing. You know what I mean? I know he's looking forward to this game, and we were looking forward to him pitching, but we kind of just didn't play in sync today for him.
One last one for Schneids. We'll finish up right there.
John, you've talked a lot about this season about your team's ability to turn the page. Can you describe a little bit resetting after this one, given that you had a spot in the ALCS in your hands and now there's a Game 4?
Yeah, I mean, we had a spot in the ALCS in our hands when the series started. You know what I mean? I know it's 6-1 in the third inning, but we still have a spot like that tomorrow. You know what I mean? So these guys will be ready to go. It's really comforting for me to see them do that all year. I know they're going to do it again tomorrow, and you have to kind of take out the outside noise that comes with playing here and all that kind of stuff. So I got all the confidence in the world in these guys showing up tomorrow ready to go and just doing their normal day and competing.